I now have a very, well, that one's escaped. So obviously Finish It February is very much a thing in the knitting community, or in just generally the making community. And while I really like the idea of it, the kind of things I had left unfinished were not really conducive to trying to get them all done in 1 month, let alone the fact that I didn't really understand where everything was. So rather than finish it, I've been figuring it out. And basically I've been through all my whips that I can find. These are just my knitting whips. There are other projects around this house that have been left unfinished of various other methods. But for the knitting, it's actually not too bad in terms of compiling what I had. So I went through my knitting journal from last year. I've got 2026 set up here, and I identified 6 whips that needed to be dealt with. Now, the first up was from last year's Sock Madness. So that was Sock Madness 19, and this was a pair of socks that I made based on the Warbuck pattern Against the Adventure. And I have actually finished these. I did actually finish something in February, so I can claim that I've done something. And these were Against the Adventure, and these are the Path of Stars charts. And you can see it's a really, really lovely sort of textured design. Now, a couple of things. I had one sock done and the other one done to about this point, and I still had the foot and toe. And at some point I'd dropped the stitches off the needles and I just shoved them in a bag and left them. And I could have gone back, I could have picked up all the stitches, put it back in the proper pattern, or I could just knit them, pick them up as knit stitches and fudge it a bit. And honestly, for a pair of socks like this, that's fine. So these were knit in Ginger Twist Studio Yakety Yak 4-ply, which is I think it's merino silk yak blend for a nice pair of cozy socks, and these are in the colourway Muddy Sunshine. So those are done. So down to 5 whips. Next on the list, I have the Camille wrap cardigan, and this is a pattern that's available online. Now, I actually got quite away with this. I'm working on the body. I've divided for the arms and everything. And I'm currently working on the wrap of the wrap over front. I've got a note of which row I was up to because I've done pretty detailed stitch counts and everything. So this one isn't too bad to figure out where I'm at. And yeah, I think I'm doing quite well with that. This one, obviously, there's still the bands, sleeves and everything to go. So this is probably like a longer one in terms of the amount of stuff I have to do. And I'm doing this in 2 yarns. I'm holding, let me see, Rowan Fine Lace in the colour Era, which is a discontinued colour from years ago. And I am using the Knit Picks Aloft in the colour Ube Heather. And they are working absolutely beautifully together. And that's the two there. So that's the Aloft and the Rowan. So that is something I would very much like to get finished. It's very, very fluffy. And I do love the colour. So that's an easy one to get finished. I think that's probably the one I'll work on next. I have a knitted t-shirt, which is currently spiraled up on my needles. And this is the twisted t-shirt. And I'll put all the patterns that I'm using in links in the description below. And I'm doing this in 2 different yarns. I've got the Skein Queen Voluptuous Skinny, which is the grey. I don't know what colourway this was. It's from years ago, but I've got quite a bit of that. And the other yarn I am using is from the Dyer Rusty Ferret, who's sadly no longer dyeing, but her stuff is amazing. And this is the colourway, what was this colourway? Cryptic. And it's really, really fun. It's got greys and hot pinks and lime greens and stuff in it. And again, I was getting on quite well. I've got quite a lot of the yoke section done and sort of the sleeve increases. And I'm not happy with how I'm doing this. I've done it so I've got a jog line of stripes down the back. And I tried doing the jogless stripe techniques and everything, but I'm really not happy with it. So my plan is to frog back to the collar, or just frog the whole thing and restart, and work the short row section for the shaping of the neck in the grey, and then go into helical stripes using 1 round each of the 2 different yarns I've got. So it means I shouldn't have any jog lines or anything like that, and I think that'll look a lot better. I'm also not entirely happy with the way I've been doing the sleeve details or the yoke details for the raglan, and I feel they just look a bit messy, so I'd very much like to go back. So this is probably one that I'm going to frog back but restart with the same project. So that's probably going to go on the back burner as something that can be dealt with at a later point. Next, in the pink bag of pink knitting. Now, I got married last year and I made my wedding dress, and it was pink and grey and white, and again, because Scotland in summer can sometimes not be the most favourable temperature-wise, I want to have like a wrap or something to go over it. And I started working on Ghost Whisperer, again using Knit Picks Aloft. I've got this very frothy pink thing, and that's the colour there. It's a really, really pale pink, but I would like to finish this, and I think that'll be nice as just like a little cosy layer for any time really. So I'm working on the body. The pattern asks for 9 inches of the body before you start doing anything for the sleeves and stuff, so I've got a way to go, but I'm liking how this is knitting up. I did broken rib for the bottom to stop it from curling too much, and that was done with 2 strands, and then the body is knit in 1. And what size needles are these? 7. So it should be quite a quick knit. I've got all the balls. I am covered in fluff now. I've got 4 balls of the Aloft for that. So that is another one to finish. So according to my notes, I have 2 other whips. One is a shawl design that I started 2021, maybe 2022. I can't remember. It's been in a drawer. It's getting frogged. I like the idea, so I'm going to frog back, rework it. There were increased issues and stuff with it that really weren't working, so that's going to get frogged. I'm not going to share any pictures of it because it is potentially going to be a design that I'd like to release. So we'll just ignore that one for now. That's been buried in a drawer for so long, I don't feel like it counts anymore as an active whip. And the other one I was working on was Mania scarf, which is a really, really gorgeous scrappy project, a big linen stitch wrap. I love linen stitch, I think it looks so good. And I've wanted to knit this for years. It might be from when I first started joining Ravelry, you know, that kind of long in the distance. And I started it as actually 2 separate projects, one as a cowl and one as a wrap, and I divided the colours and I'd split them into cool tones and warm tones, which was a mistake because actually part of the joy of that design is blending all the colours together. And the other mistake I did was I made my stripes too big, so it lost that glorious sort of shifting colours, and it just ended up looking like a weird stripy mess. So I frogged both of them, and I put all the yarn back to one side, and then I went to go back and restart, and I thought, I don't want to try and do it again. So in my infinite wisdom, I decided, oh, I'll do Tunisian crochet. I'll just do a big Tunisian crochet strip, and that'll be great. And I got quite a lot of yarn done in it, and then it was like, I hate this. I do not like how it's looking. It looked fine for like the first couple of rows, but then it started curling, and the pattern wasn't working as well as I would have liked it to be. So I have this is the remains of that, because I spent yesterday frogging all of this, and I now have a very, well, that one's escaped. I have a very, very large box of lots and lots of yarn scraps, and I am going to continue reknitting this pattern back to the original specifications. I think I cast on about 500 stitches, but I've started working on the linen stitch with just different colours of yarn, and I am loving it. It's really, really nice. I mean, even the back is pretty. So I'm exceedingly happy that I have restarted this, and I'm doing it the way I want it. So that's where I'm at. I came into 2026 with 6 projects, I have finished one. I'm frogging one completely. One has been frogged and restarted as a long-term sidekick type project. And the cardigan and the two tops are in a place where I actually feel comfortable continuing. Obviously with a twisted t-shirt, I do want to frog that one back, but I have a plan for it. And even if I don't restart it this year, that doesn't feel like a whip anymore in some ways. It's kind of a planned project is how I'm thinking of it. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. It all seems manageable, which is nice. And I look forward to keep knitting on these in this year and trying to get some more of them finished and hopefully not add to the whip pile. If you enjoyed this video, thank you very, very much for joining me. And if you want to see me do more random things with knitting, why not subscribe? And I'll see you next time. Bye.